What's going on, G-Ballers? I have a couple of knives here to share with you coming in from Daily Carry Co. These are going to be new releases for them. This is your first time stopping by. Welcome to GBall Vision. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your EDC is. Something completely different than we have ever seen from Daily Carry Co. in the past. This is going to be the new Gauntlet series, and this is kind of a feeler as their first folding knife that they have done. It is going to be a button lock thumb stud flipper, and these are going to come in right around the $60 price point. Now, I do have a coupon code that'll knock an additional 10% off these knives, so we are talking around the $53 price point, or roughly there at. They're going to come with a nice little goodie box that has a sticker and an RE. They also are going to be offering the Gauntlet in a little bit different format than we see here with the drop point. This one here is going to have a cutout for the deployment along with the rear flipper, but this one is going to be a traditional hawksbill style blade. So not something we get to see a ton of these days in the knife world is hawksbill blades, and I absolutely love them. I think they are very utilitarian. If you're someone who does a lot of utility type cuts, I think a hawksbill blade is awesome. Now, no, they're not the easiest thing to strop, but you can put these on a ceramic rod, and it is a pretty easy thing to do, even for someone who doesn't have a ton of experience with sharpening. Very casual design from Daily Carry Co., but I love to see it. This is basically the start of something really good, I think, for them. We are going to be looking at a lower mounted standard steel pocket clip, and we do have a lanyard hole there for the lanyard fans. It is going to be right-hand carry only. As far as the action goes, they have a nice strong spring in there, and they have pretty good acoustics. That is done very well. And if we go over to the thumb stud version here, this is going to be the same exact way. Nice strong springs and very smooth on the closing action, but it's controlled as well. So that is a nice touch. Now, if you're wondering, or maybe you're not familiar with Daily Carry Co., I was just looking for it, and it's actually in my pocket. This is what Daily Carry Co. pretty much has represented over the last couple of years in regards to their knives. They also have a nice display of EDC gear like pry bars and pouches and wallets, but their claim to fame over the last couple of years have been their gravity knives. This is one of their newest ones right here. It has a clip point M390 blade with a satin finish, full titanium handle, and a milled tie clip that is left-hand friendly. Love their gravity knives. I'm a huge fan of gravity knives just because they're very comfortable. You have an entirely enclosed handle here. The only disruptor really is the pocket clip, if you will, and because it is a smooth milled tie clip, you really don't feel it in your hand at all. For some of the most comfortable EDC knives, barring a fixed blade, that you can get your hands on, in my opinion. Now, they also have these in a more budget format as well for the gravity knives. They make them in aluminum and 14C with a milled titanium clip, and they are anodized. The coupon code also works on their gravity knives. Anything on their website, you can use the GBall discount code. I'll have all that stuff linked down below in the description. Now, it'll be the first time they're using D2 steel, and we are going to be looking at textured G10. I have to say, this is some really good looking and feeling G10. Now, I don't think that I've seen this quite. If anything, it reminds me of like a Best Tech G10, and that's kind of what these feel like. Now, I don't know who the OEM is behind these. I don't know if it's Daily Carry Co. doing them themselves, or are these being done by another OEM? I'm not sure about that. I'll try to find out. I don't know if I'll find out before this video gets posted, but we can always do an update. Let's get a look at the size here for the Gauntlet. These are going to come in at a healthy 7 and 15/16 strong, almost 8 inches, and 3 1/4 cutting edge, 3 1/2 of total blade. So a very good size in my opinion. We don't get to see a whole lot of 8-inch knives anymore, and this one's going to be fairly similar. We have 3 1/2 inches of cutting edge, 3 1/2 inches of total blade, and it's going to come down there right at 7 and 15/16 strong, so almost 8 inches here again. A couple of size comparisons for you. We have the Benchmade Bug Out and the Kaiser Drop Bear. And then we have the Vosteed Raccoon and the Kaiser Militol. And how about a couple of Daily Carico knives? We have the Balcott, which is their first edition magnetic balisong, and then we have the aluminum parachute slide here. This is a little bit different than the original parachute slide. The originals come with a tanto blade. They're all still available, but this one here is going to have the anodized aluminum and 14C tanto blade with a satin finish, but you still get that titanium pocket clip. And I think after my code, these come in around $108 or something like that. A great deal on a gravity knife if you're not looking to break the bank. But if you want something with a little bit more premium materials, you can get that as well. Well, let's see what these will look like in the pocket here. And I already can say that some people won't like this clip because it's not anything fancy, right? But one thing that a clip like this is great for, Spyderco is known to do something very similar. It leaves a little bit poking out of the pocket, and for a knife that you're going to be using throughout the day, something you're going to want quick or easy access to, this is a perfect clip. Now, it's not going to carry nice and deep like some other knives do, but that isn't the intended use for every knife, is to have it completely concealed, okay? These are tools, and a lot of people will want easy and quick access to them, and I would say 8 or 9 out of 10 times, I prefer something that pokes out of my pocket, like a milled clip, or even something like this. It just gives you a nice place to grab a hold of the knife and be able to retrieve it out of the pocket. Now, I think, though, over the course of time, we're going to see, since they're dabbling in folding knives now, like I said at the beginning, I think these are just kind of feeler knives, starter knives. They're going to be getting feedback from these knives, and that will tell them, you know, what to do in the future. Get the arch nemesis here off the shelf, and we'll give these a weight check. I like to guess the weight of the new knives that come in to the channel here, and I invite you to play along. Put your guess down in the comments. Let me know what you think this knife weighs in at. We do have steel liners. It does feel hefty in the hand, but they do some milling internally there for weight relief on both sides. Because this isn't a liner lock, that gives them the ability to mill out on both sides to get a little bit of weight relief. Now, even with all that being said, these have a nice amount of heft to them. Definitely going to be above ratios. I'm going to say, let me close my eyes and just kind of feel. Let me see. I feel like these are up at like a 4.3, 4.4. Could be even a touch more. I want to say, okay, I'm going to say 4.6 because that's what I feel. Oh, son of a bitch. 4.0 and 114 grams for that one. Man, I was so sure, too, it was going to be up there at like 4.5. That pisses me off. Pisses me off. 3.9 ounces and 114 grams. About 4 ounces for that one, and 4 ounces for that one there. So not too shabby in the ratios department. 3.5 inches of blade. I like that 4 ounce and above mark for something you're going to use. And that's what this was created for, was to be a daily user. If you go over to the website, they came out with these 2 designs for something you can pick up that's going to have good materials at a good price and that you can use and not feel bad about doing it and still going to get performance. Get the calipers out here and we'll get a couple of measurements on our handle and blade here. 0.49 for our handle thickness, 12.4 millimeters. We'll go to the blade stock here, 3.1, which is 123 thousandths. I was going to say 125. I'm getting close to knowing what the millimeters are, or knowing what some of them are, I should say. Our BTE, if I can get a good hold here, is going to be about 21 thousandths in that particular spot, about 0.57 millimeters. Let's see how these cut out of the box. We have our SMKW catalog paper here. This is going to be a great all-around EDC blade shape with that kind of drop point shape. Let's see how this bad boy cuts out of the box here. Ooh. Okay. Yes. Very good. Beautiful edge. Beautiful edge. On to the Hawksbill one, where this is going to be more of a utility-based EDC. This will be great for utility cuts and just getting work done. A Hawksbill blade, they have been a tried and true blade shape for centuria, right? Like Hawksbill blades were the original workhorse blade shape. A lot of farm hands, gardening, homesteading, all kinds of hard work has been done over the years with a Hawksbill blade shape. They just do a phenomenal job. They might not look like they will, but I can tell you just through experience, and if you just read a little bit of history, it will also let you know that a Hawksbill blade, and there's many different aesthetics to a Hawksbill blade, but what really matters is we have this nice curve here, a consistent curve coming out to a nice pokey edge tip, and that will allow you to really dig into material nicely with pinpoint precision, whether that's opening up a lot of material boxes or cutting them down. They are going to do the job well. Get our off-grid driver out here and we'll get a hardware check on these fellers. T8 on the pivot. We're going to be T6 on the body screws, and we're going to be T6 on the pocket clip screws there, but you don't need to remove the pocket clip to take this apart, so you don't really have to bother with that because you can't switch it over anyway. But if you have good quality bits and a good driver, you're going to be in good shape. If you need one or are looking for one, you can always pick the off-grid driver up. I have it linked down below in the description. It comes with a couple of 6, 8, and 10 bits that you can house right in the handle there. Absolute perfection for a bit driver. So let's get a close-up here of both of these. Perfectly centered up on both sides. They have some really nice texturing on the G10. Really nice. Not something you see a ton of. Like I said, I think I've seen Best Tech do something similar to this. And these really feel like a Best Techman type build. I've had a couple of them in recently, so I have an idea. Not saying these are made by Best Tech, but that's the kind of quality that I'm feeling. Both have a nice satin finish. Like I said, the springs are nice on these knives. You get a very satisfying opening action off those studs and that flipper tab. The flipper is designed well. It kind of curls there with some jimping, and that gives you a nice That gives you a nice surface area and grip to really fire that blade out. And here on the Hawksbill, the cutout works good on both sides. You actually have a really satisfying opening action off this one as well. I think because of how the blade is done and you have a little bit more heft out here and then the stronger spring, it really makes for a good satisfying action. And if I shut up for 1 second, you can hear the acoustics. Let's get the spine whacker out and we'll see what the Gauntlet series here is made of. We are going to start with this guy. We'll go out towards the tip, start lightly, and we'll go from there. As far as any movement before we start, I don't feel any up or down. Maybe a hint of side to side, which is nothing to be alarmed about. We'll give this a couple of fair shakes here. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's a very good sign. We'll close it and check it. Very good. Close it and check it. Couple of good shots there. Very good. That is exactly what we want to see right there. Let's go to the drop point here, out towards the tip. Very good. Close it, check it. This one's even better. I don't feel anything up or down or side to side. Nice little triple tap there. Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. That is exactly what we want to see. I think it's really cool. You have to almost see into the future a little bit or see what a company is trying to do, like Daily Carry Co. They've never put anything out quite like this. So they don't have any customer feedback on a folding knife. So they put something out that's still a quality piece. They're not rewriting knife history here with these two designs or these two knives, but they are putting out a couple of more unique folders at a good price with decent materials across the board. Time will tell on the D2. I'm sure they're not going to put out, some subpar product with what I've experienced from them. They're going to put out a good quality product. And to pick these up right around $50, that's a solid offering. So let me know, what do you think of the new Gauntlet series here? Which one would you go with? I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I truly appreciate it. It helps push the video out there to more people. If you want to continue to see dope knife and EDC content, make sure you're subscribed. I'll pop a couple of new videos up on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.